It's funny, I mean, from my experience, I grew up in Sydney and, had a Greek family on one side, had an Asian family behind us, had an Italian family next to us. And one thing I remember besides, waking up on a Saturday or Sunday morning and, they've got a culinary feast that's being prepared for lunch and smelling the aromas coming from over the fence and thinking about, which fence am I going to jump? We were a small family of 4. They were often a family of 5, 6, 7, 8. They had their grandparents living with them, they had auntie, uncle, and there was a reason to that. And the reason was, they'd have a mortgage that they'd all collectively pay down, quicker than having 3 or 4 properties on their own. Once they paid down the mortgage to a sufficient level, they then buy another property, might be just down the street. By working together, being better off financially because you've collectively manage your finances and work together, which I think Australians tend not to do. We tend to be more competitive. If you're buying a property or investment property and you've got brother or sister, you're normally not doing that together. Whereas if you did do that and you both had pretty substantial income, you'd be paying down debt a lot quicker. Once you pay down that debt, there's no reason you can't go and buy another property, jointly and do the same thing. And I think that mindset of, collective or family wealth planning, it just is so young and something that Australian families don't tackle enough.